We are good to go. I believe we've gotten readies from both gentlemen, have we?
I believe we have. If we haven't, then, you know, why aren't they ready? All right, so we got a ready. Yeah, here we go. We got readies from both players. Arda, go ahead. Count it down.
Well, let's start it off with a little international flavor in honor of Koryan for his 6th final. Here we go. The finals of the April CTM tournament in San Ni Ichi Tetris.
It took me a second to realize you were counting. It's like, what is he saying? Did he just start speaking in tongues or what? Like, no, that is counting.
Koryan's smiling. He got it.
Yeah. Wow. Here we are. 2 hypertappers. A young man, a less young man. But still able to vibrate their fingers very quickly, and now here they are. Like, who knew that that would be a marketable skill? But it is. I really have no idea what to expect. I mean, Richard definitely has his fans among some of the kind of the fans of the new school players, and Koryan, of course, is captivated and delighted. Probably quite literally millions of people on YouTube. So both of these players have their cheering sections, and I really have no idea what to expect. I mean, you'd have to think Koryan would be favored here, but, you know, on the other hand, Richard is the number 2 seed. He maxed out into the qualifiers, so I really have no idea what's going to happen.
And that's the best situation to be in, ultimately, when you have 2 players that are very close in skill level, and the way that they play, always fascinating to watch, very compelling.
Mm-hmm.
As Richard is able to drop the Tetris, and despite being trailing in lines, lead 140,000 right now as he approaches 30 lines.
Yeah, and as you said about Koryan, you know, probably one of the nicest people in the Tetris community, not on screen, but when he is playing, he is a beast, unrelenting and unforgiving. And if you give Koryan an inch, he will take a mile. You cannot let up on the aggression, because as we saw in last month's tournament, he has the ability to go the distance and more. And you're not just going to outlast him with a 600K every time and expect to win. So you do have to turn on the aggression the entire time and probably play perfect Tetris the entire time if you want a chance.
Koryan playing very high, has to do a little bit of cleanup here too. This is a little uncharacteristic, especially this early for Koryan.
Oh, Earn Juggle 28 complimenting me on all my cliches. Much appreciated. I've been working very hard on them.
I don't know if that's necessarily a compliment.
Oh. I'm going to take it as one.
Koryan did a great job there and dropped the Tetris to boot to get himself back into a great position. 258,000 as he approaches 70 lines. Meanwhile, Richard 7 lines ahead, but a Tetris behind in score, now more. Finds himself Tetris ready. Had to close the well, however, in that split-second decision. Now waiting for another eyepiece, dirty Tetris ready, and will find it. Drops the Tetris. Van, if there's anyone that can outlast any opponent, as we've seen in previous tournament finals here in the CTM, it is Koryan, as evidenced by his previous final scores.
Yeah, no doubt. But, you know, Richard, no slouch in that department either. He does have some level 30s under his belt. He's got about 30 some odd max outs, and he's only been playing for a year. So it's a very similar situation Richard has as Joseph Saley did, you know, going, about a year facing Koryan. Now, I think when Joseph faced Koryan in CTWC, it was, you know, Joseph had a little bit more under his belt here, but, you know, Richard the Hypertapper can go the distance. It's just sometimes he plays very volatilely and maybe hasn't really figured out entirely how to adjust his game for a tournament context. But this is one of the lessons, you know, he's going to have to learn along the way on his journey to CTWC.
Both of them now at 110 lines, but Koryan almost 100,000 ahead. Once again finds himself Tetris ready, has to close that well. Might not be able to patch things up before the eyepiece appears, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you can see Koryan shaking his head a little bit, unhappy with that sequence, but he does open up the right side and is Tetris ready. Did give up a little bit of his lead to Richard, though.
And he did a great veteran maneuver there. You noticed a lot of players, myself included, would have put the eyepiece at the very left side, requiring you to wait for another eyepiece to completely clean up the board. So he saw that in his split-second judgment and was able to put it elsewhere.
Yep. The guy is a pro and a veteran. 442 now at transition for Richard. Koryan about to transition again, looking to do so with a Tetris, but long bar not coming. And it does.
Koryan.
Yeah, Koryan transitions at about 568.
Looking great right now with his board. Building low. Getting Tetris ready. Has a little bit of cleanup to do here. Meanwhile, level 21 for Richard has 154 lines at 485,000. Or pardon me, at 532,000, but still behind. Almost ties it up with that Tetris. Drops another Tetris, does Richard. Both of them playing very smooth.
Yeah,
making great decisions here.
Yeah, and you can see that characteristic almost kind of ripping a piece over to the left or right, which is only really possible to a Hypertapper, you know, where it just rips across the screen. Something a DAS player cannot do. And Richard with the aggressive setup to place the long bar there instead of burning it down and gets rewarded with an immediate Tetris. 655 and Richard has the lead. Koryan takes it back though with a Tetris. 682 and 685 for Richard. Like, I mean, these guys are as close as you possibly could be at this stage of the game. If only there were two body parts I could flash on the screen. There they are. That's probably the last neck and neck.
I don't know. I feel like you have many more neck you in your commentary.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's hacky, but it's fun.
I will say, Koryan, one of the happiest moments that we have ever seen him on stream, at least, or even CTWC tournaments, was when he was able to finally defeat Joseph last month. You could see it in his face after that final game. He was just so happy. He pumped his fist. He was just. It was a very proud and important moment.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph, who had just taken the title back from him the month previous, and I know there's a lot of admiration and respect that goes on between both of those two players. I mean, certainly JD adores Koryan, and so I think it meant a lot, you know, both to lose to him and to win it back from him. I think it's something that only competitors at this level can really understand. And 835 for Koryan, 815 for Richard, and they're going kill screen. No doubt about it. This is going to be a double kill screen unless something happens. Richard at 852.
And we have no idea who's going to take this one. They're so close in points.
Yeah.
And that'll be kill screen for Richard. Can he get anything? No. And that'll be it. Koryan will take it without having to go to the kill screen. Wow.
But he should do it for swag, of course. What a game. So basically, what amounts to double kill screens. Koryan didn't quite have to get there, but he did anyway. And Richard got to the kill screen. 888,000 points.
Can I just say, like, the chat is echoing this right now. We have had some absolutely killer games in these finals lately in the CTM.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think, the best players are surfacing in the final rounds of these things, and there's just a lot of talent. I mean, even just 3 or 4 months ago, this guy on the right, Richard, completely unknown, and starts streaming and very quickly establishes himself a little following, on Twitch and a fan favorite, and, exhibiting incredible Tetris, and then just to come here, finally get to his first finals, and gets a kill screen on his first game, put up an 888 against Koryan, who some consider justifiably to be the best Tetris player on the planet, classic Tetris player. I mean, that's a remarkable achievement, and just, even in a losing game. So let us go.
And that's just game 1, folks. That is just game number 1 of a possible 5.
So I think we've got a ready from Koryan. I think we have a ready from Richard. Let's go ahead and count it down, Arda.
3, 2, 1, Tetris.
And it looks like in chat we're still on 3, 2, 1 shirtless. So thank you for that gift, Professor L. Oh, Joshua Dadago came from the YouTube announcement. So there you go.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Appreciate that. I did see the notification, and I was wondering why the CTWC would be having an announcement of any sort right now, but the announcement was for this. So I was like, okay, good. That's cool. I didn't realize that was happening. So thanks, Trey. Trey's in the chat there somewhere, too. So appreciate that, bud.
Right now we have a volunteer who's in our CTM Discord who is putting together a ranking system for classic Tetris players, kind of similar to chess, has an ELO rating. Well, he's putting together the same kind of thing, and I've seen some, like an early version of the results of this, and it puts Koryan ahead of every other player by quite a margin. Just in terms of when you add up his results in CTWC and CTM, there's probably no one who has performed better in competitive Tetris. Unfortunately for him, not at CTWC, just, for whatever reasons. Some people attribute it to jet lag or whatever, but certainly in CTM, he has...
Well, listen, we can say this. Yes, it was an exhibition match, but even talking with Jonas as he went to Hong Kong to play in that matchup against Koryan before the 2018 CTWC, he absolutely stressed the fact that jet lag is a factor. So he said that having to go on a plane, go to Hong Kong, play Koryan, even if it was exhibition, still lost that game. But if we're making that point regarding Koryan flying all the way from Japan to Portland to compete in the CTWC, you have to say that's a factor. And it's not like they have a lot of time to adjust to the time zone, right? I mean, it's a matter of hours sometimes that they're competing in these tournaments, getting off a plane maybe a night, maybe 2 nights. They're not staying for weeks to acclimatize.
No, and it takes a while to adjust. That is for sure. I'm sure you travel enough, Arda, to know that.
Yeah, it takes a long time. I mean, listen, put it this way. Professional prize fighters, boxers, MMA fighters, if they're fighting in a different time zone, oftentimes they might even get there a month in advance so that they can fully acclimatize. Now, I'm obviously not saying that these 2 tournaments are on the same level as, say, a prize fighter making millions of dollars. I'm just making the point that this is certainly a factor when you're talking about people competing.
Oh yeah, you can't disagree. So I would love to see what would happen if he got a couple of weeks in Portland beforehand. But unfortunately, people have lives, and that is a sad fact. 267 Koryan, 268 Richard, pretty darn close, an identical number of lines. So this one I feel like is headed for a best of I think it's going to get to a decider. I think it's going to go all 5 games. I hope it does. Although I am kind of tired and I do want to get a nap. But I do like classic Tetris more than I like sleep. So which I think is echoed by a lot of people in this chat right now. Because you have reports all the time of people like, well, I just started watching. All of a sudden it was 4 a.m. in Europe or whatever, wherever they live. It's incredible how compelling this is for such a simple game. Oh, we have a cat who's into it too. I don't know if you all heard the cat.
Did I just hear a cat or
That was a cat.
a dog?
That is a cat.
Okay.
He's into it.
Can I just say that I read an article online that cats, in fact, know their names when they hear it. They're just ignoring you, which furthers the point that cats are awful.
So 367. I don't disagree. 367 Koryan and 371 for Richard. This one is going to the wire.
Everyone throwing up the cats in the chat. We see it. We see it. Koryan moving along, trailing right now, but can never, ever count Koryan out. Definitely within range. You can always tell when Koryan is frustrated, though. He wears his heart on his sleeve. You can always see him reacting.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. You can. He's definitely both the positive and the negative. You know, he celebrates when he wins. You can tell he gets a little upset when certain things don't go his way at times. But you know, always a great ambassador for the game either way, and has a huge following. And I'm one of them. I love this guy. I can't wait to meet him in person. So 457 for Koryan, 472 for Richard, approaching the transition, 9 and 10 lines away. And Richard, I would prefer to have Koryan's board, let's say that. And Richard gambling on a long bar. He could have burned that down on the left, but opted to stay aggressive and gets the long bar, Tetrising into the transition, but this is not a great looking board right now.
Koryan also Tetrises into the transition, and yes, Richard, it does not look good right now. Needs a Hail Mary right now. Not getting the long bar when he needed it. Has a lot of cleanup to do, but just more and more holes being poked into his board. Great placement there. Has a long way to go in it. Oh, he just avoids it there, but tops out right there. Koryan takes game number 2 and brings himself within 1 of taking his second straight month as CTM champion. 2-0 is your score so far.
Yeah, I thought Richard had a real opportunity in this game because he did have a lead on Koryan for so long, but Richard unfortunately just played a bit too high and with the top out, and Koryan is able to take it. So let's go ahead and give Koryan his heart. And Richard's back is against the wall right now, in a position of having to do a reverse sweep against Koryan, which is a tall order. But certainly he's here, and he's ready, and he's focused, and he wants to win, and he's got a chance. And I need a ready from both players, and we can go ahead and start game 3. Ready from Koryan. And I think we have one from Richard. I can't tell. Yeah, we got it ready from Richard. All right, here we go. Arda.
3, 2, 1, Tetris. Game number 3 underway. Koryan with a commanding 2-0 lead in the series. It is a best of 5. Richard wins. He stays alive. Koryan wins. He is your CTM April 2019 champion, and he will be a 2-time returning champion. In fact, as he won last month as well. 6 times in the final for Koryan. Richard, his first time. Arguably the highest level Tetris play he has had in his entire Tetris career right now. And he is facing a formidable opponent, arguably the greatest Tetris player in any tournament of all time. Many people in the chat would debate that, and that would be Koryan.
I can't breathe, Arda. I'm getting to that point where I cannot breathe.
Koryan finds himself Tetris ready. Great stack being built early on. The early game for Koryan, always a beautiful sight, always poetic in his Tetris play like that. Just a a stand-up T-tuck. Not to, he always, like I said, you can always see the emotion on his face. He's not about something, but you can tell he's doing very well right now in his board as marked. Meanwhile, for Richard, finds himself Tetris ready, had lines and had to stack them horizontally. Gets the line, drops the Tetris. 123,000 for Richard. Both of them hovering around the 35 line mark. Koryan, with a little bit of burning, will use the eyepiece to get Tetris ready. So far, Richard has had the lion's share of eyepieces, 18 compared to 13 there. A little unfortunate with the arrival of the eyepiece for Koryan's board, but is able to put himself in Tetris-ready position.
Yeah, Richard getting a bit droughted, though, and he was high, but able to somehow shuck and jive his way around, improvise, and finally stays alive long enough to slot a long bar down the right side for a Tetris and get his stack down, and another one for him. 225 for Richard, 210 for Koryan.
And you can see both of them playing very methodically. No one pressing down right now. It's very slow and steady, wins the race kind of Tetris here. Covering up as well is Richard. Untimely eyepiece shows up. Has to do a little bit of cleanup now. Will get there, though, and is Tetris ready. Meanwhile, Koryan drops the Tetris. 279,000 for him. He is in the lead. Both of them equal in terms of lines. One Tetris essentially separating them at the moment. Game number 3. Koryan with a 2-0 lead in the series in your April Classic Tetris Monthly 2019 final. It has been a great evening of wonderful Tetris action, except for Ben Mullen and his cast.
Yeah, no, that's something if I don't push it out of my mind, it's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. So
we shall never speak of this again.
No, I think I need therapy. 349 for Koryan, 286 for Richard, and Richard slots in another Tetris, 308 down the right side, back by about 2 Tetrises, but gets another one. So
great job by both players. Very smooth Tetris.
Mistech 43 is afraid to miss anything, is saying he might drag his computer monitor into the bathroom just so he doesn't miss anything.
The theme of this month, CTM, has really been TMI.
Yeah.
It really feels like. But in all seriousness, thank you to everyone for joining us in the chat. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you all and getting your comments, and we've had a lot of fun. This has been very, very fun. As we continue on here. Yeah, so Richard got himself into an early hole, but since then he's been able to keep pace with Koryan, really just staying 1 or 2 Tetrises behind the entire time. And that's what he's going to have to do, just keep himself in position so that when the opportunity arises, that he's, able to stay in the game. And he's got Koryan drops the Tetris. Yeah, he's got this issue. Doing a great job right now. Oh, yeah, he definitely is. But, Richard, again, in this situation where, you have to be aggressive, and this is what the position Koryan puts you in, is you have to be aggressive, but you also don't want to top out. So you've got this real delicate balance. Here's the problem, particularly with Richard, as Koryan transitions here with a 562,000 score. Even if you're aggressive, Koryan has shown time and time again, he has multiple examples of this. He can outlast you. That's the thing. We have seen this. We have seen him with competitive scores in the millions, level 30s, live, against people like Joseph as early as last month. So we've seen him in those kind of positions, just playing very calm, So even if you are playing aggressive, trying to get as many points as possible to put the pressure on, oftentimes with Koryan, that's not going to work.
Yeah, no, because your level, what you have to harness to bring a level of intensity to, ramp yourself up to play at your best, he just does by default. And it's just his normal operating procedure. Like, he just doesn't, he's just Mr. Calm, and yet he's doing these incredible things.
683,000 Koryan at 160 lines. Meanwhile, playing very high right now is Richard. Watch Richard's screen right here. No. He will top out, and that is it. Koryan is your champion.
Wow. So let's see. You know what? I realized I don't know if I have my winner scene ready, but congratulations to you, Koryan. Richard, you did a great job to get here. It was fantastic, but unfortunately, you ran into Koryan like so many. Oh, it says Moodoos. All right, this scene is messed up, but that's okay. This scene is totally messed up. We're just going to keep it. Oh, that's the wrong one, too. Oh, my God.
Koryan's just going to keep going. Koryan's going to go for the mill is what he's doing right now. He's just going to put on a show for us.
Yeah. I don't have my winner scene or anything, but wow.
Now, Vandweller, $50 if he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, if he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'll think about the $50. Yeah. Well, for some reason, my whole OBS just went crazy. All the wrong buttons hit, and I don't have my wonderful winner scene, but we don't need it because Koryan himself, when you see him, you think, that guy's a winner. And I just get excited just looking at him play. Like, this is an incredible finals. And I think, hats off to Richard here. This is the furthest he's gone in a Tetris tournament. It was, again, probably the most high-stakes, most intense situation he's been in with regard to competitive Tetris. He got all the way through to the finals, and, he put Koryan through his paces, particularly in that game 1. And so, props to Richard.
Absolutely. Richard did for his efforts here tonight. Chris has an interesting fact in the Twitch chat. This is the 6th sweep in the history of the CTM, 5th by Koryan.
Oh, wow.
Without loss in a single round. Yeah, that's very impressive. And Koryan, well, he's not happy there with that build. He'll just let it drop. But he cracked 1 million, by the way. So there you go. Of course.
Just just 1 million. It's nothing.
Casual mill.
Yeah, casual.
Didn't get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but that's okay. He cracked the mill.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you, Koryan. I mean, I don't have my wonderful winners scene, but you did awesome. And he's taking his shirt. My God!
What is Koryan doing here? Hang on a second. No, Koryan, don't join the cult. Don't do it. Wait, he's putting on a different shirt. What's going on? What is that? Yes, the Sonic shirt, where the power is drawn.
Let's bring him up to the front. I'm totally messing up my scene here, but it's okay. Here, let's bring this to the top. I can't. I totally ruined my scene. It's a mess. The whole screen is a mess. The whole game is on tilt. Koryan broke CTM yet again. Congratulations.
Well, I can see him. He has his shirt. He changed to the Sonic shirt. Congratulations. Do it. He's showing his sign. Congratulations. A cheers. Kampai to Koryan, your April CTM champ. Back-to-back champion, in fact. Yep. He has done it.
Again, and here is Richard with his Sonic the Hedgehog shirt. All right, so who do I want to thank? I want to thank all of our wonderful moderators. See if I can even remember all of them. Friday Witch and Gordo and T-Bricks and Lana and Louie and Song Scout and Jazz Thief and who are the other moderators? I'm probably free. Oh, Zach with Wings, are one of our newest moderators. Professor L Tetris. I think those are... Oh, JD is actually... Joseph Saley's one of our moderators. Go ahead and thank him. He doesn't do much in there, but thank you. And and I want to thank Trey and Adam and Vince for allowing us to sully their Twitch space yet again with whatever this was. I want to go ahead and thank... Who else do I want to thank? I want to thank... that Chris Zasada guy, a.k.a. 4 in the Discord, for some of the great information he was feeding me throughout the broadcast. I want to thank all the players who qualified, everybody who watched, everybody who played. God, I can't think of anyone else I want to thank. Oh, wait a minute. I want to thank Arda. Arda, thank you so much for being involved in this. I don't know why you decided to sully yourself, to lower yourself to what we do over here, but much appreciated. I'm sure you'll run screaming now that it's over.
Not only did I have a great time with everybody here and yourself as well, Kevin,
yeah,
but I want to be back. So put me in the rotation, man. I want to be back before the end of the year. So please feel free to invite me back. And for everyone who was watching, this was awesome. I'm very happy to be a part of this, and I'm very happy to see the traction that it's getting month over month on the CTWC channels. As you know, I handle most of the CTWC social media, so I'm definitely monitoring that on a daily basis. And I just love the fact that the community continues to grow, and CTM is a big part of that. I truly believe that. So, congrats in the chat. Applause in the chat for you too, Van. And thanks for having me. And I hope you guys enjoyed the April version of the CTM tournament.
Yeah, fantastic. And just not to step on all that, but one thing. By the way, everything you see here, you can be involved. This is not some exclusive club. This is not an invitational. All you have to, anybody can come into the Classic Tetris Monthly Discord, get involved, put a qualifying score, and it could be you playing in this thing next month. So the first step to get involved is to join the Classic Tetris Monthly Discord. All the information that you need to get involved with this is in there. Join us next week at this same time, same channel for Tetris Deathmatch, and that is an opportunity for you to get involved. Anybody who shows up, all you got to be able to do is stream Tetris to your Twitch channel, and you can play 1v1 matches against other viewers, which is a super fun and low stakes way to get your feet wet playing competitive Tetris. And then the week after that, we have the top 8 of the Classic Tetris Community Tournament, and that's on April 20th at this very channel. So for Arda, for everybody, one guy I forgot, Tegamek. Thanks, Tegamek, for doing the bracket duty. I didn't want to leave him out. All right, thank you so much. And we will be back next week with stuff. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.